We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 10.
Howling winds expected to reach 60-plus miles an hour overnight, mixed with snow, are making travel near impossible in much of Siouxland tonight, as a blizzard warning remains in effect until morning. Already travel in most of Siouxland not advised this evening. Good evening, nonetheless, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Seaman. First it was rain, then sleet. Tonight, blowing snow causing trouble across Siouxland. Tonight, schools and businesses are closing or offering delays for tomorrow as Mother Nature offers a reminder that this is winter. And we begin with Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez tonight. It's our top story tonight, in fact, at 10 o'clock.
Well, so far we've seen the conditions have still been very windy, but snow has started to stop, at least here in central parts of Siouxland. We'll still be seeing blowing snow as we take a look out from the KCAU-9 studio camera. And you can see a car out in a ditch along Highway 75 right around the interchange with Highway 20. As we'll be seeing that so far, the looping radar shows that the snow showers have moved further east, with snow still impacting communities like Clay, Buena Vista, as well as Calhoun and Crawford. As we'll be seeing that road conditions have now been listed as travel not advised pretty much all across Siouxland. So that's actually a change, because even a few minutes ago, Nebraska was still showing completely covered roads, but now that they have deteriorated and they've just blanketed most of northeastern Nebraska as well as western Iowa with travel not advised. So make sure you're staying cautious, as we still see 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts occurring right now. So expect these conditions to hold over for a few more hours. Tim?
All right, Victor, thanks, and we'll check back with you shortly, of course. Here in the city, most major streets are passable tonight. Snow routes, in fact, clear and wet in many places. Side streets, a different story, though, where slush and wet snow has been building up. You're looking at live Storm Tracker 9 right now, where you can see that particular street, a parking lot, it looks like, heavily covered with tire tracks. Travel not advised in many areas this evening. Tonight, Woodbury County Sheriff Chad Sheehan putting a tow ban in place in the county until further notice. Officials say that the dangerous road conditions made towing operations unsafe for drivers, first responders, as well as their crews. Law enforcement agencies are urging drivers to just stay home tonight if you haven't already done that, unless it's necessary to go outside, of course. If a vehicle does get stuck, stay with your car, wait for it to for a rescue vehicle to arrive, and make sure that you stay close until the weather improves. Don't go venturing outside of your vehicle. Meanwhile, more snow emergencies and delays have been announced. The city of Mobile, Iowa has a snow emergency now until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Vehicles are being asked to stay off of the public roads there. Also, Unity Christian High School will start 2 hours late on Wednesday. Many schools in the Siouxland area starting late tomorrow. For a full list of those, as well as snow emergencies and ordinances for the communities that you live in, make sure you check our website. The details there at SiouxlandProud.com, as well as on the KCAU 9 News app. Well, not technically a State of the Union address, President Trump tonight laying out his economic plan for the country during an address to a joint session of Congress. 3 Iowans among those in the gallery tonight, invited by members of the Iowa congressional delegation. More on them in a moment, but first, KCAU 9 Washington correspondent Jesse Turner has a recap of tonight's address.
President Trump received a raucous welcome from Republicans as he outlined the accomplishments of his administration so far and what's to come. But Democrats really caused a stir with various forms of protests throughout the night.
America is back.
President Donald Trump gave a joint address Tuesday night to a noticeably divided Congress, after Republicans cheered the president's return.
Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
House Speaker Mike Johnson ordered officials to kick out Texas Democrat Congressman Al Green from the chamber.
But it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
President Trump's speech focused on a variety of topics, including the trade war he just launched against Mexico and Canada.
They've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before.
Experts say the tariffs will force consumers to pay more for things like gas, groceries, and clothing. But the president said his policies will
make America affordable again.
President Trump also celebrated the work of Elon Musk and Doge to fire federal workers and cut funding.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard.
And President Trump promised to continue his immigration crackdown as Vice President J.D. Vance heads to the U.S.-Mexico border Wednesday.
If we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders.
And Democrats picked Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin, a former CIA analyst who won her seat in a Republican-leaning state, to give their official rebuttal. And President Trump's trade war will particularly impact her home state. In Washington, I'm Jessie Chenor.
Several special guests were in the gallery for tonight's address by the president, including some from here in Siouxland. South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson bringing 2 people to Washington, D.C., including Union County Sheriff Andy Howie. Representative Johnson's office says that Sheriff Howie has served in that role since 2022. He is South Dakota's delegate to the Mid-States Organized Crime Information Center as well. 4th District Representative Randy Feenstra invited turkey producer Brad Moline and his 16-year-old daughter to join him. The Moline family celebrated 100 years and 4 generations of raising turkeys in Calhoun County and has provided Thanksgiving turkeys pardoned in recent years by Governor Kim Reynolds. And Senator Joni Ernst also joined by an Iowan, Scott Root, the father of Sarah Root, who was killed in 2016 by a drunk driver who wasn't a U.S. citizen and fled the country after posting bond. Ernst wrote and advocated for the passage of what is known as Sarah's Law. Well, with 25% tariffs now in place on products from Canada and Mexico, as well as China, local companies are playing a waiting game, waiting to find out if they will be impacted by the new trade policy. KCAU-9 reporter Chase Foy has a closer look.
Thanks, Tim. Today I spoke with a couple of local construction companies to see how they'll be impacted by the tariffs.
We receive a lot of lumber from Canada. So that's the biggest play right now. A lot of other raw goods get imported in from Canada or Mexico to build other products. So that's a big talk right now and trying to make sure that those prices can stay stable.
Grant Levitt with Marcus Lumber says this is not the news him and his staff wanted to hear, but Levitt says they will try to make sure the prices for their materials won't go up.
Definitely kind of, for us directly, a little bit of a bummer. You know, we love to have the consistent pricing, makes things less stressful. Customers have a better experience. We're trying to provide as much consistency as possible. You know, we tried to preemptively buy some inventory to level out prices as long as we could. You know, we definitely think this will be a short-term fluctuation, so we're trying to ride that storm for our customers.
Nate Herbst with H&R Construction told me the one material he expects to see go up in prices is steel.
A typical commercial construction project, structural steel might be 10 or 15% of the project cost. If it goes up 35%, you're talking, you know, a $2 million project might become $2.4 million.
As of right now, both Herbst and Levitt says the only thing that can be done as of right now is to take it day by day.
Wait and see. Everybody thinks the sky's falling as soon as, you know, government changes policy, and usually they're somewhere in the middle. We're going to be impacted for sure, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as what they say.
We're definitely trying to take it in stride and trying to educate customers as much as possible with the information that we have.
Herb says step one for these kind of situations is making sure your customers know what has to happen when increasing prices.
Reach out to your trusted suppliers, have an open dialogue with them, make sure you understand the rules that we have to live by for the time being.
Experts recommend consumers avoid trying to stockpile products that will be affected by the tariffs, but consumers should account for added cost if there's a home project planned this year. Chase Foy, KCAU 9 News.
11 nonprofits here serving children in the tri-state area will all share in some $100,000 in funding grants. Women United of Siouxland awarding $18,000 to Mary J. Tralia Community House and the preschool there. The money will be used to provide preschool scholarships for low-income children. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Siouxland receiving more than $22,000. Those funds are targeted to expand the Junior Bigs mentoring program at Hunt A+ Elementary School here in Sioux City. The executive director of the nonprofit says that she's grateful for Women United helping out other organizations in Siouxland.
these women are working hard just to make the Siouxland community better. They're so inspiring. So once we get this money and we see just how proud they are of us, it inspires us obviously to do great things in the community, and that's what we're able to do with this money.
Women United has awarded more than $1.4 million to local nonprofits since 2006. Those funds were used for research-based projects, life-improving programs, and for the youth here in Siouxland. Good news there, and good to see local agencies being helped by yet another local nonprofit agency. Outside tonight, it's a difficult story. Here in town, you can get around on most of the major roads, but out in the rural areas, it is going to be a difficult night into the early morning tomorrow.
And that doesn't stop that. It's still a little slick here anyways, Tim,
True.
and we're still going to be seeing reduced visibility as we're seeing out in Cherokee, a much different picture than we were seeing out from the studio camera just a few minutes ago, as we'll see that most of the area shows conditions that have been showing snow like this, with blowing snow, really reducing visibility across Siouxland, as temperatures are currently reported at 29 degrees, feels like of 13, thanks to northwestern winds flowing at 34 miles per hour, with gusts reaching up to 50 and 60, as I mentioned, in some spots. We'll see the looping radar here showing that the snow's been slackening closer towards the I-29 corridor and out to the west of us, as we'll see that conditions are a little bit drier now through portions of Nebraska and South Dakota, but we're still seeing that snow out in eastern counties by Ida, as well as Carroll, and then Buena Vista and Clay as well, as we'll be seeing that those snow showers will be continuing as road conditions are listed as impassable. Of course, this is the one that didn't update, but I do have one that was accurate, and it showed travel not advised pretty much all across the viewing area, as we'll see that conditions are cold across the region, now dropping down into the low 30s and upper 20s, and instead we're feeling like the teens with these strong winds that we see. Right now, winds flowing out from the northwest, reaching up to 35 and 40 miles per hour in some spots, 37 in Norfolk and Bloomfield, 41 in Orange City, and Cherokee actually has some calmer sustained winds, but they still have visibility under a mile, as we saw in some spots, and no visibility reported in Storm Lake, with half a mile in 3 cities here in southeastern Siouxland, Mapleton, as well as Denizen and Ida Grove. But you'll see that the further west you travel, those conditions have been improving, as we see that right now, currently, most of the area has wind gusts still reaching over 30 miles per hour. 57 over in Yankton, excuse me, that's Norfolk. Yankton showing 52 mile per hour gusts. We'll see 59 in Storm Lake and 46 in Cherokee. So all around Siouxland, still seeing very strong gusts, and with these strong winds, we've seen winter weather advisories as well as blizzard warnings still covering central and eastern portions of Siouxland, extending along the Nebraska-Iowa border and then through the state of Iowa as well, as we start to actually chip away at some of the winter weather advisories that we had issued through South Dakota. As the snow has slackened, they've actually seen conditions improve, so that's why they've had those advisories chipped away at, as we see the stormcast showing conditions. Those snow showers then clear out by about daybreak tomorrow, with clouds moving out as well. Expect these conditions to continue in the region as we see sunnier skies for the afternoon and into the evening, before more clouds begin to expand for the morning hours of Thursday, and we see showers that transition to a rain-snow mixture late on Thursday. So expect more wintry weather on its way for Friday morning. You'll see snow totals in the region still increasing a few tenths of an inch out to our east. And we're only going to be seeing a little bit more as gusts reach up to 50 and 60 miles per hour still as we progress around midnight. Tomorrow morning, still seeing 30 and 40 mile per hour gusts, as they will be flowing out from the north. But finally, through the evening, we see them drop into 20 and finally teens. So we'll finally have calmer conditions in the region. But until then, we have high wind warnings issued in Siouxland lasting until 6 in the morning, still for Woodbury County, and 3 in the morning for some of the counties further north, closer towards Sioux Falls, as conditions this evening will be showing that blowing snow with temperatures in the low 20s for overnight lows. Gusts will be making it feel closer to 10 degrees and some upper single digits, as we see those blizzard warnings in effect, with temperatures that are going to be in the 30s for the day tomorrow. So cooler daytime as temperatures will rise slightly higher. We're seeing some 40s there on Thursday, but we cool off with the snow as conditions finally finally warm up through the weekend. So we do have a very wintry work week ahead, but the weekend shows spring-like conditions, and we get well into almost some early summer-like weather maybe by next week, Tim, to continue the pattern of rinse and repeat of winter one week, spring another, and we're back to winter this week.